With Kid and Elbaf, a lot of the community have gotten their hopes up for him to finally be able to get his shine he deserves. And being the huge Kid fan I am, I haven't been able to help but get my hopes up as well. So today, I'd like to talk about all the possibilities that can happen with him being in Elbaf. One of the most common running theories for Elbaf is that Shanks is somehow going to be involved in the arc. There are three main reasons as to why. First is that Shanks' ship is heavily inspired by Viking ships, which are connected to Norse-inspired Elbaf. The second reason is that it is theorized that Shanks is based on the Viking and explorer Eric the Red. This is mostly due because of his red hair, but it's also theorized that he's based on the Norse god Tyr. This god is known for having lost one of his arms to be able to chain up Fenrir, who is a giant wolf that kills the god Odin during Ragnarok. Aside from the arm and the hair connection, Tyr is also a god of formalities of war, primarily concerning himself with treaties and justice. Many people have drawn the comparison with this to Shanks' peacekeeping nature. The third reason is because every Yonko we have seen so far has had an island that they use as a base of operations or just rule over. For Blackbeard, this is Full Land Island. For Big Mom, this was Totland. For Kaido, it was Wano and Onigashima. And even for Buggy and the Cross Guild, it's Empty Bluffs Island. The only exception to this that we know of so far was Whitebeard, but that's just because we didn't see it most likely. And Luffy also doesn't have a home base, but he just recently became a Yonko, and now he has Wano and Fishman Island under his control, which are pretty big nations, so I think I'll give him a pass on that one. We have only seen a random island under Shanks' control, and with him seemingly having a connection to Elbaf and it being one of the most important islands in the series, it makes sense for him to have it as a home base. The only thing that may disprove this is that relatively recently, the Giants of Elbaf are going to marry off their prince Loki to Big Mom's daughter Lola, and I don't see them doing this if they were already allied with another Yonko. Now that Kid is in Elbaf, the Shanks connection to Elbaf has even more narrative backing, because Shanks is the one who took Kid's arm, and even after that, the Kid Pirates formed an alliance with Apu and Hawkins to try to take down Shanks, before they were interrupted by Kaido, that is. I definitely think that Kid still has a vendetta against Shanks, so I wouldn't be surprised if Oda uses Elbaf for them to have an interaction without Luffy being involved. If Kid were to have another battle with Shanks, I'm pretty sure I'm with everybody else in thinking that Kid really doesn't have a chance. We haven't seen any advanced forms of Haki from Kid, or any canon displays of him being able to control his Conqueror's Haki. One thing Kid does have is his awakening, which is pretty powerful, but with the revelation that strong enough Haki can nullify Devil Fruit abilities, it is very possible that Shanks will just be able to break out of any magnetism that Kid can put on him. I don't think Kid will completely be low diffed, but I don't see him doing any significant damage to Shanks, unless they battle to the death, that is, which I don't think is happening. The two good things I can see coming from this interaction is that it can be good character development for Kid, but also give him a chance to advance his Haki, as that is where he's lacking most in battle. It'd be nice to see if Kid picked up on Ryuo and Wano, and then in the fight with Shanks, he would be able to figure out Conqueror's coding, so he can have a similar progression to Luffy, with the only form of advanced Haki he would be missing at that point being advanced observation. But in a battle against Shanks, it seems as though Future Sight wouldn't be of any help, because in Volume 4 Billion, which came out with the release of Film Red for the people who went to see the movies in theaters in Japan, it was revealed that Shanks is known as an observation Haki killer, and seems to have a counter to Future Sight. I think right now, Oda is cutting out some of the people in the race for the One Piece. And having Law fight against Blackbeard was him taking out Law. And now if you were to have Kid fight against Shanks again, then that would be him taking out Kid from the race. If that is how it goes, then that would just leave the 4 Yonko left in the race. And the battles that happen with those crew will be the battle royale that Oda mentioned in this year's Jump Festa message. If this is Kid's last role in the story, I hope he actually gets some of the spotlight that he deserves, before he doesn't have the chance to anymore. We know that Kid is after the man marked by flames. And now that we know that Saul is alive and on Elbaf, many people, including myself, are of the belief that Saul is a man marked by flames, and it's very likely that Kid will find them in Elbaf. This would be obvious foreshadowing on Oda's part, but I think that if this is what happens, then he's gonna do some sort of twist in there. One thing to keep in mind is that Kid's morals, from what we know, aren't in line with Saul's. So if he does come in contact with him, it's more than likely going to end in some sort of conflict, because I don't see Saul allowing just anybody to get the information on the books that the Giants were able to save from Ohara. Another thing that is probably connected to this man marked by flames is the last road poneglyph. As of now, we know where 3 of them are, and a lot of people have theorized that the last one is on Elbaf. Killer and Kid first bring up the man marked by flames when Law gives them the rubbings of the road poneglyphs that they got from Kaido. And then Killer says that if they want to stay ahead in the scramble for the One Piece, they will have to find the man marked by flames. So knowing that the road poneglyphs are what you need to find Laugh-Tale and the One Piece, it's safe to assume that this mysterious person is who has the last road poneglyph hidden away. The last thing I wanted to consider is how exactly do the giants of Elbaf treat pirates that come to their island. The giants themselves have had a pirate crew that go out into the world under their name, but we don't know exactly how they think about other pirates and outsiders in general. We do know that they are a warrior race and aren't ones to shy away from battle, but are they so battle hungry that they will start a fight with anyone who sets foot on their island? Knowing Kid, if they were to start a fight, he wouldn't turn away from it. My only worry is that he goes too far and makes an enemy of the entire nation before we are able to see how the giants act under normal conditions. There's also a chance that the giants love Kid's hot-headed nature. Because he's quick to go into battle, I'm sure they'll like that part of him, but what I'm scared of is that somebody might say something about his dreams or about his crew, specifically Killer and his laugh, and he'll take it a little too far, because we know he's known to kill civilians if they laugh at his dreams. If this does end up happening and Shanks doesn't get involved, then it could set up a battle with the Kid Pirates and the Straw Hats. Because we will probably be headed to Elbaf soon, it would be a nice change of pace if we get to see Kid conquer the island and get control of Saul, until the Straw Hats show up and have to stop Kid's reign of terror, allowing Kid to have his shine, and also give the Straw Hats an antagonist to handle in Elbaf. Because right now, it seems like we will have nothing but friendly greetings once we get there. Because up to this point, every giant we have come across, we have either befriended or they were a marine, so it doesn't really count. It's not that we need an antagonist for every single arc, but I know a lot of people, especially an arc like Elbaf that has been teased and foreshadowed for years, I know a lot of people would really like to have some sort of conflict, even if it's not the main part of the story that takes place on that island. Another thing Oda can do is something similar to what he did with Zoe and Jack, where we end up getting to Elbaf too late and we just have to deal with the aftermath of Kid's time there. I'm not sure where that would leave Kid, but I believe that is probably a likely option on what will happen. I don't know about for you guys, but for me, I don't really care what happens as long as we get to see what happens with Kid. I don't really, mess with all of the, off-screen, off-panel stuff. I just really want to see what happens to Kid, and Oda showing us a little bit of the fight with Law versus Blackbeard has got my hopes up. I don't think we'll be able to get to see everything, and I definitely won't let my expectations get that high because I know that I'll just be let down. But as long as we get a decent amount of screen time for Kid and his crew and what they do on Elbaf, then I'm happy. But yeah guys, that's basically my last idea on what could possibly happen with Kid and Elbaf. Let me know if you think any of them will come true, or if you have any ideas that I didn't mention. Let me know this in the comments, and if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more One Piece and anime content like this. Until next time, later. And thank you all for the support on my last video. It's going really crazy, and I've gained a lot of subscribers and a lot of support on my last video. So I hope you guys come back and enjoy this one as well. Anyways, later.